Welcome everyone to Mail Fuzz TV. I am Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about Star Trek The Next Generation Season 7 Episode 19. It's called Genesis. This is after Phil Collins left, so that's just where we are in the timeline. No,
it was never the same.
I think he'd left by 1994. I don't actually know. I have no idea.
I think he had, yeah.
But yes, welcome everyone. Spoilers for the episode as always. So this episode is about a virus that spreads on the ship, which makes everyone devolve into various things, stuff that predates humanity in one form or another. Or in some cases, not even humanity. Worf turns into something prehistoric Klingon world related. Yep. So that's the basic gist of it. And to be honest, on paper, that sounds like absolute garbage, right? It sounds like a bad episode. I think the end result's a lot more interesting than that. I'm not going to say it's good, because I think it's a bit up and down all over the place. But there are moments where I'm like...
This is a hotter take than I expected from you.
I'll just say this. The way they frame parts of it, where it's like, oh, a lot of it happens like when we're not watching, and then like it's just like Data and Picard coming back, and it's like a horror movie because they're like going around like the quiet ship, and they're discovering what's happened. I was actually kind of into that part. I thought that part was fairly entertaining.
I will give you that until I start hearing animal noises.
That's what I'm saying. There's like a raft to this episode where I'm like, oh, this is actually better than you think it would be. Then you hear an animal noise and you're like, oh, I don't know about this. But then like Worf is like a scary monster, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's a little bit more interesting again. Actually,
no, it's terrible. It's terrible. This might be one of my least favorite episodes of the entire show. I think it's awful.
I think it's like a dance between the worst episode of the show and a really good fun episode of the show, and I think it ping-pongs between those two feelings constantly over the course of the episode. So the end result obviously is a mess. I'm not saying it's a good episode. It obviously isn't.
At least I'm having to fight you on that.
It obviously isn't. I'm just saying that every so often there'd be like a weird little where I'm like, oh, I can kind of see the vision here for a split second.
I mean, the fact that you think there was a vision.
Well, a glorious car crash perhaps might be a better way of phrasing it.
Yeah, it's something. I'll give you that.
I mean, the build up to what's happened. I think the first half is the worst part of the episode, just because it feels like it takes a while to build up, and all the things that are building up feel very different and random, but at the same time feeling very generic. And because we've had episodes of both this and original Trek where some kind of virus, Naked Now, Naked Truth, all that stuff.
This is down there with that one.
It's probably worse than those, I think. I don't think those are hated episodes in general.
Probably. Maybe I'm misremembering how.
I think people like the original series one at least. The Next Gen one, I think we had fun with it for Tasha like using Data as a sex toy and stuff like that.
I remember it being hilarious but terrible.
Yeah, but look, that's the spectrum we're operating.
This is not hilarious
here.
Enough.
It's not. There's more, like I say, it dips into moments. Now, don't get me wrong. There is nothing about Caveman Riker that is redeemable. Okay.
No, there's not.
Like, I think this is an interesting enough bad episode that I wasn't completely like mad as I was watching it. I'll say that. I'll give it that credit.
We got fish people, we got lizard people, we got cave people. Like it's just
terrible. we get cats turning into iguanas. We've got whatever's happening with Barclay. I guess he's like a spider man.
Yeah, he's spidery. It's all his fault anyway.
It is all his fault. Yeah, I'll be honest. So the opening scene of the episode is in Med Bay, and there's a couple of jokes here. Like Riker was making out with someone down next to the garden area, and he got like a cactus spikes all on his back because he rolled over onto them, and it's just kind of played for laughs. And Barclay's like a hypochondriac. He's been doing the Googling. He's been Googling his symptoms, and he thinks he's got space cancer.
The best part of this episode is them predating Googling every symptom. Like, because every doctor in the world has to deal with this now.
Oh, it's very, this is predicting the future in a very strong way, actually, yeah.
Like, and I bet doctors are sick of it, because everyone does it.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Like, I think that was the strongest part of the episode. They nailed that.
I imagine it probably still existed, but just on a tiny scale. Like there's like, a couple of hypochondriacs would go to the library, read some medical books, and think they know what they're doing.
No. Like I said, I'm willing to bet it happened, but like the amount that it happened has to have been significantly less than.
Oh yeah.
When's the last time you went to a doctor without having Googled how much you're going to die?
Not to be fair, last time I went, I didn't Google anything.
Really?
Oh wait, no, that's okay. That's not entirely true. But I very specifically Googled symptoms. Like I was trying to figure out if I had COVID, so I specifically looked up COVID symptoms. I don't know if we're counting that. That feels a bit different to me.
I don't know. I think it's the idea of like even before you go to it, like you might not have raised this with the doctor, being like, I did my reading. I
definitely didn't do that. No,
I think there's lots of people who don't know that, but I think everyone goes into the doctor with, I think it could be this, or I'm ruling out this or that, and like instead of just waiting for the doctor to. Like the last 3 times I've been to the doctor, they've all started by, and different doctors by the way, they've all asked, so what do you think it is? Like, because they just want to get it out of the way.
I wasn't asked that.
Oh, wow. Maybe my doctors are just sick of it.
And I'm not mad that they didn't ask it. Who cares what I think? You're the doctor. You tell me what's wrong with me.
That was literally my answer. I was like, I don't know. That's why I'm here.
So something's afoot. Help me, please.
Like, you are the medical professional. Diagnose me.
Anyway, Barclay's hypochondriac. He thinks he's got space cancer or space. Oh god, we did Armageddon on Collector's Cut recently, and that which by the way is terrible. It is aged atrociously.
Really?
Oh yeah, the editing's horrible, and it's got tons.
I don't remember it being amazing, but I don't remember it being terrible.
Annoying Michael Bay characters and humor all over the place. Like shots aren't allowed to last more than a second and a half. Like I teared it to shreds. I had a miserable time. But there's a line late in that movie where I think Steve Buscemi's character goes a bit nuts. And William Fichtner has to seriously, with a straight face, say something like he's got space dementia or something stupid like that. As if it's like a real name for a condition. It cracked me up. Anyway, so Barclay thinks he's got every space sickness there is, right? Whatever it may be. And Crusher does some scans and is like, okay, there's a couple of things where your levels are a little bit off. There's not, and he's like, break it to me. And I actually thought she was quite funny here when she said, okay, I'll be honest, I think you've got 70 or 80 years left. And then he takes a moment to process that. And he's like, wait, what? Yeah. And I actually had to think about it for a second. I was like, oh yeah, they live longer in Star Trek. That's been established. I was like, otherwise, how's he got 70? That's an amazing amount of time given that he's already like 35. What are we talking about here?
You'd murder someone for another 70 or 80 years.
That's what people hear when they're fresh out the womb. You've got 70 or 80 years.
70 or 80 years. Get cracking.
But she's like, oh, you've got this one gene's like maybe underdeveloped or dormant or whatever, so you're not as immune to this one little flu thing that everyone else is. Here, I'll just inject you with a synthetic version of it, and that'll hunky dory, that'll fix you. Turns out I thought this entire opening scene was mainly just a bunch of comedy B-plot stuff because it wanted to set up the fact that Data's cat was having kittens, and that was going to be like a silly little subplot throughout the episode, right? That's what I thought this was setting up. I did not expect Barclay's little shot to be the incited incident because his genes react badly to it or something, and it starts spreading devolution genes to everyone.
So Barclay.
Which, to be fair, I did think Troy's line at the end of the episode was funny. Right? When everyone's back to normal, which I think they rushed, to be fair. I wish they spent more time with them all kind of realizing they were back to normal. But Beverly turns to her and says, Barclay did turn into a spider, and what was the other thing he found out? He got a virus named after him. And Troy just goes, I'll clear my next week. or something like that. I don't know. I thought it was a funny line because you just know that he's running to therapy like every day with some.
I
new
feel like we've
thing.
seen that in one of his previous.
We probably
episodes.
have.
I can vividly picture him lying on the therapist couch.
Absolutely. So, but no, this ends up being the inciting incident for the whole thing. And I think the weird thing about it is that at first it feels like it's a Worf episode because Worf's the one who's like his temper's sort of starting to flare up and he's acting a little bit.
And it's doing stuff with him and Troy.
Yeah, like they have like a lunch date and then he bites her in the face. But then she's always complaining that it's cold. What? Yeah.
The way you have to say that with a straight face in this episode. Yeah, he just bites you in the face. Don't worry about it.
Do you know what? That didn't even faze me. That I mean, it was a bit weird, but like honestly, the moment where I went, "Oh, this episode's crazy," is the moment where he opens his mouth in sickbay after the biting incident, and like venom sprays out at Crusher, and I'm like, "Wait, what's happening now? Why is he spraying stuff out of his mouth?"
yeah, he does do that.
That was the jump the shark like moment of the episode where I went, okay.
Quite early in the episode, really, in the grand scheme of things.
It's about halfway, maybe just before halfway. It's kind of in that kind of range. Because that's the thing. They set up a reason right at the very start why Data and Picard have to leave, right? They're gone. And they're gone because they were doing a weapons test. Worf had set up a bunch of new stuff, new targeting data and blah, 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 blah. And one photon or torpedo or whatever did not explode and they can't bring it back. It's not responding. So we have to shoot it down. Oh, we can't get to it because it's went through this asteroid field, blah, blah, blah. So Picard's like, well, we have to go track it down. We can't just let this rogue torpedo go out and hit something, so we have to go and chase it down in the shuttle. So him and Data leave and go in the shuttle. And then about 10 minutes later, I was realized, because I assumed when they did that, again, all these assumptions I was making early on in the episode, structured as like a normal episode. I thought, oh, that's going to be one of the main, either the main plot or maybe the main B plot of the episode is going to be him and, those two characters on the shuttle having some kind of little journey together, heart to heart, whatever it may be, whatever it is.
Banterous ending as usual.
Absolutely. So I thought, okay, that's what they're going to do. But then 10 minutes later, we hadn't cut to them yet, and I'm like, oh, maybe that was just a really weak excuse to get rid of them because Data would be immune to all this shit. So, like, they would ruin maybe the plans they've got for the plot if Data was around. So they just gave a reason for him and Picard to be gone. And then obviously they surprised me when they do the time jump when they're coming back halfway through the episode, and it becomes this kind of, oh, what's happened to the Enterprise while they've been gone? And it's all, kind of spooky and atmospheric, all the power's off, and they're sneaking around looking to try and figure things out. And of course, Picard gets infected right away just by, I guess, breathing the air or whatever. But, yeah, I mean, it did some things I was not expecting. I'll give it that much.
I cannot deny that.
Yeah. So, Troy's feeling cold all the time. She wants more tropical heat. Riker starts getting confused and forgetting things, and Worf's getting a temper and acting more animalistic. And Barclay is getting really hyper. Like, I don't know why that relates to being a spider, but his first symptom is that he's really like, oh, I'm up and about, I need to do stuff. Like, he's been chugging Red Bulls all morning. He's ready to go and solve every problem that comes up.
I don't think that's specifically to do with being a spider. I think they kind of hand wave it away at one point, being like, some people get hot, some people get cold. Some people get really lethargic, some people have loads of energy. Like, it's just an excuse to say, hey, this is going to hit everyone differently.
Yeah, but I thought they were all, because I thought the reason why Troy was like wanting warmer weather is because the animal she was turning into wanted that climate. I thought they were all related.
I think with that one it is, but I don't know if they all are, because like, yeah, I never got the impression that they were all actually directly related to that. I think I was under the impression that they were like, as they were devolving, it was like hitting different genes, turning them off and on.
I think Riker, Troy's, and Worf's all make sense with what they end up becoming, right? Worf's acting more animalistic. His temper's flaring up. He's hungry. He's eating like an animal.
Yeah, but shouldn't like pretty much all of them be doing that in that sense?
It depends on the. I mean, and then Riker's getting dumber because he's going to turn to be a caveman, basically. Yeah. So that's what he's doing.
I did like when Riker realizes that he can't trust his own judgment. I think it's Geordi that comes in. It's like, well, have we done this? And Riker's like, think we should do that? And Geordi's like, yes, obviously we should do that. He's like, Yeah, let's do that. And then he can't remember how to do it. He can't remember his access code, basically. But
Well, yeah, he wants to send like a message back to Starfleet, like a priority message, like, oh, this needs authorization, and he's like, it just kind of it's like the ad break cliffhanger is he can't remember what his codes are. So, and then that's when we jump to Picard and Data coming back, and I was having fun with them looking around. I was having fun with Monster Worf with all of his big, like, heavy armor makeup on, like, try to bust down the door, and he wants to mate with Troy, which I guess, like, no one ever, this is one of the reasons why I thought they rushed the ending a little bit. I really would have liked, like, a realization from him, because, like, maybe they would be like, oh, you picked Troy as a mate. I guess she was just the one that made the most sense, but, you know, to be fair to the show, like, we've established that he is attracted to Troy, so it's not out of nowhere that maybe in his most animalistic form, that's the one he's
No, I agree with that. That's definitely not one of my complaints here. Like, even in this episode there, before everything goes wrong, kind of they're establishing that they're testing the waters a little bit with that still. So that does track.
And to lure him away, Picard takes some pheromones from Troy and starts spraying them around like a perfume bottle to make Worf run around the ship and chase him into some ducks and whatnot.
Yeah, okay. It's stuff like this where it just loses me. I'm like, anything that it tried to do, like, seriously, it just immediately throws it away with the silliness.
I mean, I could be on board with silly to a point, but, like, I'm not saying
this. Yeah, but that's the problem. It's not trying to be silly. It's trying to be scary, right?
Yeah, I guess it is. I mean, Picard ends up electrocuting him. Also, Picard's first symptom that does kick in around here is that he starts being scared all the time. He's really nervous and scared and has no confidence, which. To be fair to Patrick Stewart, I think he did a good job of, even when he was, like, sort of still making decisions, he was talking a bit faster as if he was, like, you know, agitated that he wouldn't get through his words. So it felt like, at least I think his performance was selling the idea that the character was going through this. Yeah. So that's fair play as well. But, you know, I mean, yeah, they kind of, like, basically the whole linchpin to solving all this is that the nurse character reveals in the opening scene that she's pregnant, to which Data amusingly says, well, as someone who's been an expecting father myself, because my cat's pregnant, I could give your partner some advice should he need it, because it will be quite a trial or something. It ends up being that the thing that saves everyone is that the firewalls in the womb protect newborns from this virus, and they know this for a fact because the kittens are fine, even though the cat turns into something else.
And obviously that transfers perfectly to humans.
Well, the cat thing doesn't work. They need a human version of this.
No, I meant, like, obviously the logic applies.
Oh, sure, yeah. Well, yeah. So it's like, hey, is there anyone pregnant on the ship? And Data's like, yeah, it just so happens that we had a character announce their pregnancy at the start of the episode.
I love that we couldn't just have, like, Data just check the records. We had to have that at the start. We had to know there was someone pregnant.
So they take her magic womb juice and spray that into the air, and it fixes everyone.
What are we doing here?
I'll admit the solution did strike me as a bit in the silly side.
The magic womb juice. Yeah, sure. Juice. Why not? At this point, who cares?
I guess the idea that there's something in a woman's body that will protect a newborn and make them immune to a virus, but the adult themselves can't fight the virus is really weird and hard to believe.
I think that's founded in some science.
Is it? Oh.
Yeah, I think it's. No, I think it's more like it's not that it's not necessarily that the adult can't, like, fire at all, but, like, this isn't killing the adults, right? So
true.
It's not as serious a threat. Whereas, like, there are things that you could catch as an adult that your body can go, okay, it's not great, I'll get ill, won't kill me. But if you catch it as, even when you're not, let's not go as far as unborn, but, like, a small child or an elderly person with a weak immune system, that same thing can kill you off. I think the same applies essentially to, to unborn children. Is some diseases that the adult can fight off would kill them, so that there is like some level of protection through the placenta of like, let's filter this down a bit.
Hmm. I wonder how many things tried to kill you, but
not enough.
But your mother's magic womb juice just kept you alive, much to everyone's dismay.
Should have tried harder. Yeah. I even got my head smacked pretty hard when I was a kid. So.
I thought you were going to say when your mom was pregnant. What, was someone just like taking a shovel to the belly?
No, I'm talking like in the 4 to 7 month range. As a child, I got my head smacked pretty hard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you
Not
deserve
intentionally.
it?
Someone was carrying me, and they were running to see something, and my head got smacked on the corner of a wall.
That does explain a few things, actually.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that explains a few things. I know it didn't kick in for another good 15, 20 years, but I think that's where the hiccups came from. And I think something got knocked loose.
There is also now. I've now discovered previous head wounds that may have impacted things. Like there's a show, the band I went to see that I knew I'd been to once, and my friend who I went with also was like, yeah, we've been to see them once, and turns out we were remembering different shows, and it went for like what? We were both at both of them. He was just forgetting one. It turned out when we were at the one that I don't remember. I got kicked in the head in the mosh pit. I don't remember this entire show. I don't remember ever going to this, but so who knows? Yeah,
that sounds like you may have had a concussion.
Probably, but I was like 15, maybe 16.
Anyway, this episode is directed by Gates McFadden, and to be fair, the direction's not the problem with it, right?
It's not. It's like I know what it's trying to do. Like you talk about the bit where Picard and Data come back and it's all dark and mysterious and they're wandering around, and it's played like a horror movie, essentially.
Yeah, the direction there is perfectly good, I would say.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. It's a very bad script, but the direction, it's doing what it can.
Yeah, I love that. Like I said, the opening scene I thought was setting up B plots, and then the main plot was going to be chasing down this torpedo that went rogue because it might hit something.
And that's just an afterthought.
That's just an excuse to have them gone for a while so this other stuff can play out. And then the real plot is animals. We got Troy with gills going under the water.
Why has she got gills?
She got gills. Because because I think when I heard the animal noises, I thought we were just going to see animals around, and that was just going to be it. No. I was not expecting them to still be humanoid, but with like makeup.
The bit that lost me where I knew it was going to be that bad is when they find the human-shaped snake skin. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, well, I think that was meant to be Worf's sheddings, isn't it?
I don't know. Was it Worf's?
Well, because he was very... Like, because of the venom, I thought they were implying that was also...
I mean, it might be.
Because they didn't say human, they said humanoid to be
they did say precise, humanoid, yeah. Which, fair. That does give them discretion that it could be Worf.
Not that it matters in the grand scheme of things. No. But, no. I would have liked to have, like, an awkward scene of, like, Worf trying to apologise for biting Troy and them kind of awkwardly agreeing that it wasn't really either of their fault. They were both, obviously under this virus,
under the influence,
act out of character, but still feel kind of awkward about it. Or there's, I don't know, something. It felt like we just glossed over. Like, I mean, hell, do they even remember any of this? Like, how much of this do they remember?
I don't know. It did end very suddenly.
Yeah, it was very, very quick. Like, everyone's just kind of joking about it immediately, and then the episode ends, and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I guess that's that wrapped up with. So I would have liked a little bit more fallout from what went on. Not that would have made it a significantly better episode by any means, but I just think that in a vacuum, that one problem could have been solved with a couple more minutes.
It would have made it objectively better.
Yeah. So
yeah.
We've seen worse, and to be fair, the IMDb rating in this episode is not that low.
That amazes me. I think this is like bottom 5 of the show for me, That's how bad I think this episode is. It's a mess.
I don't think it's bottom 5. I think there's easily 5 worse episodes. I will say that.
I don't know if there is. I really don't. Not for me.
Come on. The worst one is the alien Scotland planet with the ghost. Right?
Oh, that's worse.
Right? There's the racist one right at the start of the show. That was like episode 3. Right? That's down there.
Yeah.
So those 2 are definitely worse. And then there's definitely some other ones that there's a bunch of season 1 episodes that I'm sure I think are worse than this.
Maybe this strikes me as like more offensively worse because they should know better.
Hey,
they should be able to do better.
7.0 on IMDb.
That's mad.
This, I mean, I don't know if I can sort all the episodes by rating and see how far this ranks, but 7's pretty in the middle average.
I'm aware, and yeah. I think this just tells me that you can't trust people.
People just probably think it's a fun episode. I think you're being a little too. Don't get me wrong, it is a mess. I'm not trying to defend it. I'm simply saying that on the grand scheme of things, it's not a worst episode of the show. That's all I'm saying.
Maybe not for you. For me. Yeah.
All right. Well, next episode. Oh boy, that's a photo of Wesley Crusher on that next episode. That's the first thing I just saw.
Oh, that put me through it right now.
Yes, here's the description for the next one. The episode title is Journey's End. Oh, is it Wesley Crusher's End? Is that what we're going to? Here's the description. After the Federation grants access by the Cardassians to a planet already inhabited by Native Americans, Picard has the daunting task of relocating them. We're kicking Native Americans?
This sounds...
Wait.
Okay.
But
sorry, we're doing it again?
But they're not native anymore, though.
No, I'm guessing that the planet they've been given is supposed to mimic a reserve.
Okay.
It's like for some reason the Federation still gives them a reserve, and that's their solution. And now they're being like, yeah, you can't even have that anymore.
It doesn't make sense to me, though. With the way the Federation is, that I don't know. I feel like this goes against the idea of the Federation, that the Native Americans still feel like a separate entity.
I agree in theory, and I'm defending this based off of nothing that I've seen here. I'm just guessing. Maybe the Native Americans wanted autonomy. They didn't want to be part of it, so they're like, here, like, you don't have to. Here's your thing. You go do your thing.
Okay.
And now I don't know. I could be very, very wrong. We'll see.
Yeah, and surely they'd just be whatever this planet's called now. Although maybe they called it Native America. Maybe that's what the planet's called. I doubt it, but
who knows? This feels like it could be very tone deaf, or alternatively, very, very good. Like if it's nailing it.
It's the word Americans that's throwing me. If it just said natives, natives of that planet, like, okay, right, we can still do whatever story you're doing, but the fact that it's specifically Americans is throwing me off here. But we'll see what it is next time on TNG.
I think it kind of has to be, because if it's just natives of a planet, that feels very un-Federation to kick off. Like to go, right, that's not your planet anymore.
Well, I assume it's not just because they want rid of them. It'll be because either the Cardassians are forcing them to empty the planet, or there's a danger, so some reason why they have to leave. It's not just about we want to take this land.
I got the impression, maybe I misunderstood as you read it, but it sounds to me like they were giving the planet to the Cardassians, like for them to have.
After the Federation grants access by the Cardassians to a planet, that makes it sound to me like the Cardassians are giving the Federation access to a planet.
Maybe. We'll see.
Well, I'm sure it'll be very clear in the episode.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, all right. But obviously, Deep Space Nine's next. We'll see for that. Of course, you can support everything over at patreon.com/MailFuzzTV. So thanks to everyone who already does. YouTube membership's also an option. So thanks to all. But that is the show. So thank you once again for watching or listening. We do appreciate it. Keep watching Star Trek. And somewhere out there, Wesley Crusher's ironing his Starfleet uniform. He's perking up. He's combing his hair. He's getting all pretty because he's finally back on the show next time.